Hello and welcome to the Afri Dominion. My name is Freeman Singirankabo, and thank you so very much for tuning into our program today. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from the social media platforms, be it public or private social media, welcome. We are super excited for the opportunity to come and hang out with you guys during this hour. That goes for the same of you joining us live from radio televisions and radio stations. We are very glad, guys. We are very glad that you can find some time out of your busy schedule to join our program today. So all of you, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are super excited for this opportunity, especially the one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be hanging with you guys in your living room, in your vehicles, or wherever it is that you may be right now. And with that in mind, guys, I just want to go right ahead and jump right in the program. And first and foremost, I just want to say hello to all of you joining us for the very first time. We are very happy that you can be here, and letting you know that here at Afri Dominion Show, we speak to you truthfully, boldly, and with no apologies. Why? Because the content that we get to discuss, that we have, these are the contents that we care very deeply about. These are the things that we've never had a chance to speak of in a matter of decades and sometimes centuries. We just had the opportunity. We are having the opportunity right now to make it happen and to actually become the beacon and become the voices for the voiceless brothers and sisters all across the planet, all across Africa, for what it matters, or for what that matters, if I may put it that way. And I also want to bring it to you all that everything that we do here at Afri Dominion and Afri Dominion Show, we do it in the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And these are the benchmarks by which we would love each and every one of you guys to measure both the validity and the truthfulness of everything we are sharing with you guys. Why do we stress that on? Especially, we literally cannot miss that and the opportunity to let you know. It's because we believe that everything we're doing here, we are adding value, or the intention is to add value to each and every one of you brothers and sisters, even those of you friends of our brothers and sisters all across the global community. We would love to do nothing more but adding value. So for those reasons, everything that we do here, we would love for each and every one of you to fact check what we're doing, to support us, and to make sure that you shoot us some feedbacks, especially if you find anything that we are sharing with you guys, if you find it inaccurate, if you found it to have some sort of integrity problems, feel free to reach out to us and make sure that we can actually rectify whatever it is that you may find to be an issue, and work it out together. And with that in mind, guys, it would be remiss if I didn't start also by saying a huge thanks to Afri Dominion team, and a huge thanks to HMG Network and the affiliates for broadcasting this signal to all of your televisions and radio stations, and also throughout the social media outlets. We are really excited, and like I said, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for us to be able to voice our opinions. But in particular, for us, personally, I'm a Rwandese person. This particular year, this particular month, it's one of these special months that we remember the genocide that took place in Rwanda. So the opportunity to broadcast this signal all across the globe, it's one of a kind. And with that in mind, guys, I want to let you know that for what we do here at Afri Dominion, we do it because of our brothers and sisters. Literally everything we do it for all our brothers and sisters, but also by extension the rest of the world. Which brings me to my very next point: why Afri Dominion and why Afri Dominion Show. Let me break it down for those of you who aren't familiar. Afri Dominion, it's an idea. It is literally an idea that inspires, advocates, encourages, even goes to the extent of helping you take the full control or the full dominion of Africa, one nation at a time, by the sons, daughters, African descendants, all in the interest of Africa and African people. So the Afri Dominion show, it is literally a mouthpiece of the idea. This is where you can find programs of which inspires, programs of which advocates for the voiceless brothers and sisters, programs of which encourages, encourage each and every one of you guys to do better than what you've done yesterday, to do your very best despite the odds. Programs of which actually come and roll your sleeves up. We all roll our sleeves and we come and get dirty right with you. Without just talking about it, but we get the opportunity to put it all in action, to be not just talk the talk, but also walk the walk. For that reason, guys, it is quite an amazing opportunity that we have to come forward and showcase each and every one of you what we got going on, but also for you to have an opportunity to interact with the rest of our brothers and sisters all over. It could be those in Africa or outside of Africa, but bottom line, we get to join forces, we get to do what we do best, and we get to encourage one another, we get to advocate for one another, we get to inspire one another. And with that in mind, guys, get to know how you get in touch with all these brothers and sisters all over. First and foremost, the best way for you to get in touch with us is through the website. That's right, I almost forgotten. And our website is www.afridominion.com. www.afridominion.com. The main email that we use is info@afridominion.com. info@afridominion.com. When you get to the website, we do have quite a few information, especially our contacts information, but also we have one of the groups there, a private group that we would love to invite you, where you can actually have an opportunity to meet like minds, find out what we're doing behind the scenes, find out activities that we are involved in, and also have an opportunity, to come forward and actually participate. We would love to invite you to come and participate. And also, I also want to put it out there that this program is fully supported by you viewers and listeners financially. It is literally put together by all of us brothers and sisters. And we are actually doing the whole entire life cycle, which means we are fully responsible for everything that you see here. And we get the opportunity to actually learn and showcase so many things on behalf of our brothers and sisters. So with that in mind, I would love for you to come and help us out there. If your heart, if your heart tells you, hey, you know what, I like what these guys are doing, let me come and join arms. So we'd love for you to come and participate, be it financially, be it creatively, be it giving us your time. We have so many things going on, and we would love each and every one of you to come and just do your very best and give your best share that you can find. And with that in mind, guys, it is quite a privilege to be here. It is quite a humbling experience to be sitting right in front of you, be it in your living room, be it in your vehicle, being wherever it is that you could be. I'm very excited and very humbled by this opportunity. And so let's not misuse this opportunity. Let's absolutely take advantage of that and make sure that we do what we do best with no apologies whatsoever. For those reasons, I also want to go right ahead and give you all a huge invitation and let you know that, hey, we are super open. Our broadcast is an open broadcast, which means you can actually participate in real time. For the entire program, we have our Zoom open. We have also our social media platforms open. Whichever that you find easy for you to join or to come forward with, you can come through. You can come through while we're having this conversation. And I also want to let you know that this conversation we broadcast from 12 to 1:30 Eastern Standard Time or Washington DC time. So those of you who want to follow this conversation live, you can tune in during this time frame, and later on it'll be put on demand, and you can actually find it on social medias. For those of you following us live from social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and some of those other private ones, all of you should be able to follow this program with no problems. And with that in mind, guys, I want to give you the structure of the program right quick, and then we jump right in it. So on our programs here, we have 5 different themes that we discuss or that we get to bring to you guys. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, we've got programs. We got themes, and these themes have many different programs that you can find. And every single one of these themes have something unique that we want to bring to you, that we want you to have a saying in it. So Mondays, for example, it is we have a theme that discusses eradication of African refugees and African stateless persons. So meaning on Monday, we strictly talk about African refugees and stateless persons. Those of you guys who do not know what that is, you get the opportunity to come forward and you get to learn about Mondays, about African refugees and African stateless person. On Tuesdays, we get to talk about the Constitution, law and policy review and implementations. And strictly also, this is about African countries, African nations, African people, all Africa-related issues. We have decided to just take that niche as we discuss. So meaning we get to break down these laws, this set of instructions on a national level, on regional level, on local level, but also on organization level. Depending on what the conversation is leading to, we do our very best to break it down and see how it actually impacts you. On Wednesdays, it's our testimony time. And it's one of those beautiful times that I love when we get to have the opportunity to write our own history, our own way with no apologies. I love Wednesdays because you speak your heart. You speak your heart and you boldly speak it with nobody's apologies. On Thursdays, we get to talk about the spirit of dominion. That spirit of dominion, for those of you who aren't familiar with dominion entails governing, ruling, controlling, mastering. So you get the opportunity to master, to rule, to control, to define your resources, African resources, and what you can in order to better Africa, to better manage the African resources. So we get to talk about that on Thursdays. On Fridays, we get to talk about the current events and how these events affect or impacts Africa and African people. So you realize that all these themes are pretty big and pretty large. So every single one of these days, we actually get to narrow it down to a particular program, so that we can actually bring it to you in a more deliverable way, so that you're also not all over. You can be very specific, very intentional on one and only one point or different points, so that we can actually focus. And for those reasons, I want to go right ahead and give you guys a huge welcome to our today's topic. Since we're Tuesday, we want to talk about law and policies, and today is no different. But there's one little thing that's a little bit different for today's broadcast, and this month for what that matters. You've noticed we changed the look of the flyer. We're trying to have a pretty solid, pretty similar flyer for the communication purposes. But this month of April, May, and June, I believe it might actually even go to July. I'm not sure. I will check and confirm. This is a special month for the country of Rwanda. This is a month where Rwandese people are remembering genocide and the remnants of genocide. So I'm from Rwanda. So during this month, we literally are going to focus very much on Rwanda, because most of you don't really know Rwanda the same way you think you know Rwanda. And again, most of you don't really know Rwanda as you think you do, because a lot of things that are presented to you have been very specifically and meticulously researched before they are put in front of your eyes. Meaning you are being marketed. You are being marketed based on the best content that you can respond to. It is unfortunate, but it's the truth. And so during this time period, Me as a Rwandese person, I want to keep it real with you. And I want to be able to have that opportunity to, to share with you and to interact with you all. And given that this signal beams globally, it's quite a privilege to be able to interact with you guys, regardless of where you are. And it is important because for the first time, for the first time in 28 plus years, we really have not had the opportunity to speak openly, to speak broadly, and to speak with no apologies about our own affairs. First and foremost, we didn't have the platforms, and when we did have the platforms, we just didn't have. We weren't ready to discuss for many reasons, and mostly because of the means to be able to just bring these contents, this conversation on your table. So I'm really grateful for those of you making this conversation a reality. To me personally, to my fellow brothers and sisters from Rwanda, even all my brothers and sisters from Africa. It's quite a unique and an important time period that I would love to really just get right down to it so that we do not miss the opportunity. And with that in mind, what are we going to talk about today? Today I want to talk about a topic that goes like, can government institutions dictate how to remember your departed loved ones? Let me repeat. Can government institutions dictate how to remember your loved ones, those who have departed, meaning those who have passed on? And with that topic, I literally want to jump right into remembering Rwandan genocide. And then, as always, I'll get to finishing it up, asking you, what is your role in all of this? And that's what I would love each and every one of you to come and join. And I also want to let you know, by all means, please come through. Our Zoom session is on and is open. If any of you would like to just come in at the station directly, you can come directly and join in the conversation as it happens, because our Zoom is open and you are all invited, especially for this particular time period, for the next 100 days, if I may put it that way. We will have we will actually have very special programming that we are going to be bringing to all of you guys. So with that in mind, come through. How do you get to our Zoom? Perhaps I should also tell you, those of you who are not familiar with it, first and foremost, the Zoom session is, you can actually access the Zoom session straight from the social media websites. If you are on social media, you can actually click on the description, specifically if you are on YouTube, for example, or if you are on Facebook, either YouTube or Facebook, you can actually go to the description, and right underneath of the description, you will find a link. This is a Zoom link where you can just click and then you can come right through. So it's pretty easy. Now, if you're watching this content from your TV, obviously you're not going to be able to join. However, you can jump on your cell phone or your computer. Then you can actually come and join the conversation. So we will be here in the next 60 or 70 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. All right. I hope I have explained myself. Well, if you're on a radio station, you can just call. You can go to our website and literally call in, and we would actually interact with you guys. So it's all set up, and it's set up for each and every one of you who wants to participate live to just come through. And with that in mind, that's all I can actually say about that. And let's just get to what we gotta do today. So guys, can government institution dictate how to remember your departed loved ones? Why did I bring this here? Remember, for us Rwandese people, for these next 100 days, it is going to be what they call like a mourning time. We're remembering our brothers and sisters who have died during the genocide. However, personally, I like I said, I want to keep it real with you guys. These 100 days are said to have had more than 800,000 people killed. I want you to hear me carefully. And so it is said, or the global community, the international community, has literally said that these 100 days, close to 800 or even more Rwandese people were killed, mainly Rwandese people of ethnicity Tutsi. So in Rwanda, we have three ethnic groups. We have the Tutsis, the Hutus, and the Twa. And during that 100 days, it is said, it is documented that a little bit over 800,000 people were killed, mainly the Tutsis of ethnicity. During this time period, we get to remember a lot of our brothers and sisters who have departed. But I'm more interested today in a few things, and I'm going to highlight it really right quick. One of those things is, what is the role of a government when it comes to you remembering a loved one who has passed on? When it comes to a systematic killing like the genocide or massacre, what is the government supposed to do in order to give proper guidelines to its citizens to bring such an order during that very difficult time frame? And to what degree are you told what to do? Are you told what to say and when to say it? I'm bringing that to you guys because for these past 28 years, and again, let me actually put it out there, I would love each and every one of you to fact check what I say. Literally fact check me. And if there is anything that is inaccurate during this broadcast, it would be my humble request that you bring it on the table, we discuss it while we're still here, while it's still live, okay? Because we want to make sure that the information we're sharing with you guys, not only it's accurate, but we have some evidence, or we can find some evidence to actually share with you guys. So, going back to what I was saying, for these past 28 years, meaning from July 20th, 1994, up until right now, Rwanda government has been literally on a lockdown when it comes to matters of remembering the people who have died in the country. Specifically, it tells every single citizen who to remember, how to remember, and when to do it. Remember, I just told you that it is reported that about more than 800,000 people were killed, mostly ethnic Tutsis, or Rwandan people from ethnic Tutsis, which is what's been reported. Now, because of that narrative, the government has made sure that first and foremost, the government got rid of ethnicity within the nation, within the country. Then immediately after, it took away the ethnicity identifications. It went on to the Constitution and it wrote in one ethnic group, Tutsi. And it made it a policy, literally it made it a constitution policy that Tutsis are supposed to be remembered. Now, they got rid of the ethnicity, but they made sure that they put the ethnicity group in the Constitution, guys. Minding you, we have three groups. We have the Tutsis, the Hutus, and the Twa. For those of you, the third ethnic group, you barely know. Most of you don't even know it. So now, because of the way it's reported, the entire world believes right now that Hutu are like murderers are genocidals. That's what you know, that's what you believe. In fact, every time I meet someone, but even though right now it's not as much anymore, but before, like, remember back in the early 90s, 2000s, anytime I would meet someone for the first time, especially like Westerners, they would immediately ask me, where you from? I say, I'm from Rwanda. Then they're like, Hutus or Tutsis? Why? Because that's all they knew. They knew how to categorize you based on your ethnicity. If I say I'm a Hutu, they will just feel like, oh my God, let me gather myself before he kills me. If you say you're a Tutsi, they're like, oh, I am so sorry for what has happened to you. So that need for you to be victimized on one side and to be villainized on the other side. So that's been the narrative for these past 28 years. For those reasons, there are a lot of things that we've decided to actually talk about and openly talk about, though it is not popular. So I want to just put it out here. First and foremost, this conversation is not intended to upset any of you during the remembrance time or your mourning time. Why? Remember, say that we are talking in the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And test it to see if those are the benchmarks that we're standing upon. Personally, this is what I'm standing on. And as a show, that is our emblems. Anytime, anywhere, you can benchmark us with that. And because of that, now, not only that, but I'm also a Rwandese person by birth. I'm Rwandan. I know my people. And one of the things that I want to let you know, the global community, it's that we've been living a lie for the past 28 years. And you may be wondering, what kind of lie are we talking about? So you have been taught, you have been literally drilled in. Right now, actually, I believe the numbers are no longer 800,000. They have amounted to close to 2 million Rwandan people of ethnicity Tutsis that they have died. Now, first and foremost, that I want to put it out here that it is really it is demeaning, it is devaluing my brothers and sisters from the Tutsis ethnicity, and I will tell you why I am saying that. When you're playing with the numbers, when you're making false accusation, anytime you raise a reasonable doubt that the information provided is inaccurate, it destroys whatever it is that you're doing. So right now, there have been many numbers, many numbers. But today, I'm not going to go to just any source. I was just on one of the Rwandan government website this morning, and I hope that they can actually put it out there for me. If you would please project my screen so they can be able to see what I want to share with them today. Because I really want you guys to see some of the problems that we have and we're fighting with today as Rwandese people, and hopefully you, the international community, can actually help. Can they see what I'm saying right now? Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so I am told that you can see what I'm looking at right now. This here. So there's a document that's on the website of Kwibuka. This is a government ministry of unity or unification. Let me be sure. This is this is the official account for the commemoration of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. Okay, so there's a statement that was put out by the minister there. Now, It says here, and I want to really very quick, just something that I want to pull out to you, to your attention so you can check it out. A big number of people were massacred. About 1,070,014 Tutsis were killed only in 100 days, according to the Ministry of Local Government's research in 2002. Okay. However, since then, more corpses of genocide victims have been discovered due to information derived from the Gacaca courts, as well as information provided by individuals. Other corpses were also covered during the road and building constructions. Blah, 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 blah. You can read that. Why am I reading this, guys? I want you to take a look at the numbers, okay? At least 1 million of Tutsis were killed in 1994, according to the Rwandan government. This is an official source, okay? This is an official source. Now, I would submit to you, go to the U.S. government CIA fact book, but there are plenty of organizations, and I took liberty to actually go to quite a couple of international reputable sources that you can actually you can go to and find it, find some of the demographics. Let me see, first and foremost, where did I go? I went to the Jewish Museum of Holocaust, and let me see, come on. I had it prepared earlier. And why I'm really taking the time to bring it to you guys. Okay, here it is. Let me see if I can actually give you guys this page as well. Guys, help me put it out there, please. All right, thank you. So this is the Holocaust Museum here in Washington, D.C. So according to an article here, guys, I want you to see here, okay? In 1994, Rwanda's population of 7 million, which is, I guess they approximated, was comprised of 3 ethnic groups: Hutu, approximately 85%, Tutsis, 14%, and Twa, 1%, okay? So that's what they say. Now, with the numbers that have been reported, okay, first and foremost, there is a bit of a problem with the population that's been put out there. Let me give you some of the census numbers that we have. Actually, let me put this out there too, so you can see it. I wonder if you can really read the numbers, okay? So in 1991, Rwanda had a census report, which means officially the international community ran the census. We're talking about the United Nations, okay? The United Nations had ran the numbers, and according to the United Nations, these are the numbers that they have. If you guys can make it bigger so they can see, or just show them the page all together, so they can be able to see what I really want to show. Let me zoom it in. Okay, I wonder if you can see it. All right. So the United Nations, these numbers are from the United Nations Census. The total number in 1991 were 6.4 million. Okay, let's say 6.5 million in 1991. Okay, these were the Hutus, and the Tutsis were 500,096,387. Okay, so this is what we had in 1991. Okay, now according to a lot of you brilliant people who crunch numbers, the rate of birth in Rwanda, just like many other nations, was calculated at 3%, okay? Was calculated at 3%. Now, In 1991, it was about 600,000. Okay? In 1992, take 3% take 3% of 600, because I want us to round it off right quick. Let me actually do that, because I want to make sure that you guys are just in the know, because it's incredible when we lie and we openly lie, what it does to the people. It dishonors the people. It dishonors our loved ones, and we have to be able to just stop it. It's not sexy. It's not nice, and to see that the entire global community has been bought into the lie, it's incredible. I do not understand it. So I'm rounding it off to 600. Okay. Times 3 divided by 100. Okay, so we have about 18,000. Okay, so in roughly in 1991, if 3% of Rwandese people, if Rwanda was extra 3%, I mean the ethnicity Tutsis, it was at least. Remember, I am rounding it off, guys. I'm rounding it off. So we have 600,000 in 1991. Add 18,000. It becomes 618, okay? 618. So that will be in 1992, okay? 1992. I should have actually done this earlier. So I don't have to bore you guys with the math, okay? So now take 618 and then do 3% again, assuming that we're popping our kids according to our calculator, okay? Times 3 divided by 100. So the next year, you can add 18,540, okay? 618. And then the next year, it became 636,540, which will be 1993, okay? 600, 636, 530. No, 540, my apologies. I'm literally just estimating, roughing it up in 1993, okay? And then in 1994, it will be that number multiply 3% again and divide by 100. So add 19,096 people again. Let's see what we get. 636, 540. So we get roughly about 655,636, okay? 636. Uh-huh, 636 in 1994, okay? All right, so now, according to my calculation, I'm not a mathematician, but I got a calculator, so you guys do the same. I rounded it all off. According to the United Nations census, okay? So, in 1991, the estimated total Rwandan population of ethnicity Tutsis, it was 596,387. I just rounded it off to 600,000, okay? That's 1991. 1992, if we popped out children, according to the estimated that they have 3%, we could not, the Tutsis were roughly about 600,018. 600,018 618,000 people. In 1993, it would become 636,540. And in 1994, it comes down to 655,636. Okay? If we just do 3% rate of growth, not to mention that I'm ignoring the mortality, the mortality rate. But that data, the data, it's also available. So now, let's go back to the Jewish Holocaust Museum. The Jewish Holocaust Museum is telling us that between 500 and 1 million Tutsis and moderate Hutu, at least they are much honest here. They're combining them both. But this is, again, let's go back to the Ministry of Unity, the Ministry of Unity in Rwanda. You are being told that in 1994, 1,070,000, watch it carefully, 1,070,014 Tutsis were killed in 1994. Now explain to me, guys, I'm not a mathematician, okay? First and foremost, this is a government source. A government source, okay? A government source is telling you that in only 90 days, no, only 100 days, according to the Ministry of Local Government Research, 1,070,000 people were killed, more than 1 million, let's just say 1 million, okay, of Tutsis were killed in 1994. And according to any of you mathematicians, it is impossible for those many Tutsis to have been killed if the mortality rate was 3%. For the Tutsis to be 1 million, they would have had to be 100, like literally 100%. From 650,000 people to, from 596,000 to 1 million from 1991 to 1994. It's impossible. That's liar number one. Now, that lie, it is truly a lie, okay? As far as the ethnic group is concerned, it's a lie. Because mathematically, it is impossible. However, I started actually wondering, like, okay, you know what? Actually, these people, they're telling you a partial truth, but they're just mislabeling the numbers. That's just my understanding. That's what it, that was what I speculated upon based on the numbers, okay? So they did a count, and they found out that 1 million, more than 1 million Tutsis were killed. Now, you are not told how many Hutus were killed. You are not told how many Twas were killed. None of that. But at least the Holocaust Museum, the Jewish Holocaust Museum, was kind enough to let you know that not only the Tutsis were killed, the Hutus and the Twas were also killed. So at the very least, they're telling you between 500 to 1 million people were, died. Now, there's also something interesting about these numbers. Before the war started, meaning before April 6, 1994, that's when the Rwandan genocide started, according to Eugenius people. Here in the United States, they were estimating that there were going to be trouble in Rwanda, whereas between 50,000 to maybe around 500,000 people could be killed. I want you to understand me very clear. The numbers had been already projected, estimation, because they knew that there were going to be killings in Rwanda. But those killings were going to be estimated between 60,000 to maybe about 500,000. So as soon as the killing started, they just stuck to the 500. They stuck to the maximum number that they had already been tossing around. Fact check me. Again, I'm telling you guys, because this is very important. that you guys follow why we're going this route before I come back to the government meddling and telling you what to do, how to do, and when to do it. Okay? So now, when you see all of that, these numbers have been cooked first and foremost. Now, if you think I'm crazy, go to your local governments. Those of you in the United States, we have amazing source. You can check because the numbers are there. The United Nations have the right numbers of the Rwandan population census from 1991 and its estimation in its estimation to 1994. So the 1 million people who died, there is a group called Ibuka. It's one of the organizations that actually one of the organizations that caters to the Rwandan people of ethnicity Tutsis. They have reported that 300,000 Tutsis survived the genocide. Okay, hear me correctly, my peoples. So 300,000 people survived the genocide. Now, if 300 people survived the genocide, and according to the international census, these numbers could not have gone past 650,000. How many people were killed in 1994? Young people, take a calculator, do the math, okay? According to the United Nations, the numbers of people who have died, okay? The numbers of people, of Tutsis, could not have been more than 655,000. I even gonna give him 660 just to round it off, okay? So if you have 660,000 people in the entire nation, and then 300,000 of those people survived, how many people have passed on? How many people were killed? Those of you who don't know math, let me take my calculator. Let me crunch the numbers. I am going to take 660,000 minus the survivor. I mean, this is elementary math, okay? So, according to my calculator, roughly about 360,000 brothers and sisters from ethnicity Tutsis were killed, okay? 360,000. All right, in the period of 100 days, if the math is correct. Now, the Rwandan government, I am so curious to know where the 1 million Tutsis came from, because Rwanda could not possibly have had that many. 1 million out of 7 million. That's it. That tells us that is 1 out of 7. In the Museum of the Holocaust, it is telling you that 85%, approximately 85% of the people were Hutus in 1994. 14% were Tutsis, and then 1% were Twa. Guys, are you following me? I hope that you are really following me. But they also raised the numbers as well. So if this is the case, guys, if this is the case, how can these? I'm having a hard time actually really understanding how if you have 300,000 survivors, how many were killed? I'm not understanding. Actually, let me go by the Jewish Museum Holocaust numbers. So let's take 7 million, okay? And 14% out of 7 million is the Tutsis, okay? Let me do the number right quick. And then we'll jump right back to the government meddling into all of these. 7 million times 14 divided by 100. Very elementary. So over here, it is said here that 980, okay? 980,000 So that's the number that the Jewish Museum is telling you. Now, going back again, in order for you to have at least 980,000 Tutsis, the mortality rate in Rwanda would have been to be really, really, really super high. It's almost double what it was in 1991, which means this is also inaccurate. Guys, we're not stupid, we are not dumb, okay? So the government cooks numbers, they passed on the numbers, they ignore that the United Nations, they ignore that the United States, they ignore that all these nations outside of Rwanda have accurate numbers of the census. And there's nowhere in this planet, on this planet Earth, that a nation can double in population in just a matter of what? 1, 2, 3 years. In 3 years. I mean, every single citizen, and plus you probably would have to be, you would have to have all females probably, or half the generation will have to be female, older enough to mature enough to be pregnant. And we know that that is not the case. So right up front, right in the very beginning, there's a liar in the cookie jar. Because there is a liar in the cookie jar, everything here is now you raising the reasonable doubt. So if my brothers and sisters from Rwanda, if my brothers and sisters from Africa, if we really want to unify our own people, and we selling lies in the open, and then they actually go to the extent to make you dumb that you cannot even have a simple calculator. We're talking about the government. I'm going back to my topic. If the government is cooking numbers, and then they're shoving it in your throat for you to take it. I understand Rwanda is considered as a third world country, a third world nation, where our literacy is really low. We cannot do math, we cannot do math, we cannot read, we cannot do none of that. Assume that that's the case, okay? Even though we know it's not the case. Some of us we can read, and some of us we can do very well in terms of literature, in terms of math. Even though we're using a calculator, math still is math. Explain to me how a government is going to lie about the numbers and tell the entire world community, hey, listen, this is what it is, you take it or you leave it. This is literally what's being taught to all of you guys. This announcement is as fresh as what? This was posted. Let me see when it was posted. Actually, this was posted today, and I hope, I need to take a screenshot to make sure that they do not actually delete this. This was posted today. Today, on April 5th. So this is accurate information from the Rwandan government. 1 million Tutsis killed in a matter of 90 days. And we know that in 1994, they couldn't have had more than 660,000 Tutsis in the whole entire country. Who are the extra people? And I'll put it to you that these are the Hutus and the Twa, a combination of Hutus and Twa, who were killed. So up front, the Rwandan government is lying to not only you Rwandese people, you African brothers and sisters, but now the entire community, up in the open. If that's not disrespect, it just tells me that all you're dumb enough, excuse my language, that you cannot even call it out for what it is. If for a very respectful institutions in the United States, like the CIA, like the NIHS, these scientists who actually have the numbers, for you to be silent when a lie is put up in the open and you are forced to shove it up in your throat. I don't know if this is unifying the global community nor unifying the Rwandese people. For me, I put it to you that it's not unifying anybody at all. It's selling a lie, which is a crazy lie. So that's one. So now, going to now, if it's putting out the numbers and then you are dictated how you are going to deal with the numbers. Who can comply with that? That's my question. Who can comply with that? Even a child who's thoughtless cannot go with that. But right now in Rwanda, the government of Rwanda since 1994 tells every single Rwandese person how to remember his or her loved ones, when to do it, and all the details related to the whole entire ceremony. To make matters worse, Rwandese people of the ethnicity Hutus are not permitted to remember their loved ones. Are not permitted to remember their loved ones. And remember, I was just telling you that out of this 1 million that the government is putting out as the count of the death toll, okay? If you take 1 million minus the survivor, okay? Because I love numbers sometimes, even though I'm not a mathematician, but I love numbers. I'm gonna take just 1 million. I'm gonna round it off. Because I want you to see what a liar can do if you're not paying attention, guys. If you are not paying attention. So we have a count of more than 1 million people, and we also have the 360,000 people. No, 300,000 survivors, okay? Minus. So we have 700,000. We have 700,000 people unaccounted for in the matter of 100 days. Remember, 300,000 people survived, okay? The government is giving you 1 million. The day that it did, you can't change the date, those are the people. Now that whole mislabeling I was telling you about. If the Rwandan government is deliberately mislabeling Rwandese people, all the Hutus and Twa who have been killed are also mislabeled as the Tutsis. And for you, the international community, to feel pity, for you to say, oh, poor you, and also to villainize the Rwandese people of ethnicity Hutus. You hear of a Hutu person, you see someone with a machete, someone who's gonna just butcher you, who's gonna kill you. And then you see a Tutsi, and you see a victim. Brothers and sisters, you, the international community, you must be very careful on where you are going and what you have been actually participating in these past 28 years. But Rwandan government is smart. That I gotta give it to them. But they also unlearned at the same time. I was gonna say dumb, but let me not use a bad word. So they started now institutionalizing everything to the extent that they've created laws. Like what I'm saying right now, it's called being a denier, a genocide denier. So because right now I am pointing out water from oil, day from dark, day from night, because I'm just pointing out some of the things that do not add up right. On my tab right now, with certainty, I have genocide denier charge from Rwanda because of what I'm saying right now. And any of you who's gonna go and meddle in these numbers, you are going to also get the genocide denied charge on you. Meaning you do jail time, and if you are unlucky, you disappear. They make you disappear. So I am trying to find out if you can build on a lie and expect a nation to move forward. Rwandese people of ethnicity Hutus cannot remember theirs, but we have 700,000 uncounted people who have died. And let me also be clear. We're talking about 3 million Rwandan people of ethnicity Hutus who were murdered, who were killed right after 1994, right after the genocide of the Tutsis was over, when the government of Rwanda took power, have literally wiped out about 3 million people. We also have facts as well. Now, with all of that, guys, why am I mentioning this right now, especially during the commemoration? This is one of the most sensitive times for Rwandese people. This is one of the most sensitive times for the international community, where they make sure that you have a mask on your mouth. You just can't say any word. Because they are literally controlling what to say, when to say, how to say. Anybody who deviates, you receive charges. A genocide denier, what are the other things that they call you? You guys remind me, those of you who are following, because there's so many things that is given to you when you actually, when you go astray from the narrative. And I want you guys to understand that it is responsible for not only on the international level, for you all to see a lie that's been sold to the whole entire planet Earth. And none of you distinguished scientists, and none of you distinguished doctors, and none of you distinguished people from the Census Bureau globally to call out the lie for what it is. It is irresponsible, but it is actually, it is one of the reasons, or it is, oh, thank you, brother. Another charge is called revisionist. So not only right now I have a charge of being a genocide denier, I am told also being a revisionist. These are the charges that I will land on my tab for just having this conversation. Now, I don't know about you. In this United States, I am encouraged to think critically. I am encouraged to think. I am encouraged to find mistakes and rectify it. I am encouraged to speak up. That is what the United States Constitution encourages each and every one of you. And the last time I checked, I have been given the privilege of being a United States citizen as well. So these laws also apply to me. In Rwanda, they also encourage you to speak up in the books, but not literally. So right now, I am challenging every single citizen of the world who is watching this broadcast, be it on your television, listening on your radio station, or even on your social medias, and those of you who will watch it later. How can you swallow a lie? You know it stinks like a lie. It looks like a lie, but even scientifically, it's a lie. And you just keep your mouthpiece quiet. Keep the mask on your mouthpiece, on your mouth, and not say anything. For these past 28 years, this is how we have been around these people. I mean, some of us, now all of us. And today, we want to make sure that this year, we end silence. We actually call for every single Rwandese person, and not only Rwandese person, we have foreigners who died also in Rwanda during the genocide. Those of you, most of you don't know that, but there are foreigners who have died. So if you have lost your loved one during the genocide, and you are not permitted to remember them, or in case you are given a privilege to remember, you are told how to do it, when to do it, and when to stop. Seriously, is that an overreach or what? Can you think of Biden telling you, Jewish people, American Jewish people, on how to remember your loved one who were killed during the Holocaust time? Can you just imagine Biden telling you what to do? Can you picture the US government telling you how to remember your loved ones? I can just give you an answer plain out quickly without even thinking about it. It's HELL, no. You will not see that here. Certainly you will not see this in Israel. I will submit. I'm not an Israeli citizen, but I submit to you. The Israelis are not going to dictate to you, own family, how you're going to remember your own. So what gives the audacity, the Rwandan government, which is supporting very kindly for these past 28 plus years, to actually openly lie the entire global community up in your face, and you're okay with it. I don't understand. And you guys, I don't know what you're on, but my eyes are open. For me, it's disgraceful to see this lie in the open and I say nothing. And I have vowed that anybody who tells a lie in the open, we're going to call it out. Which is why we also tell you, if we're sharing with you inaccurate information, call us out publicly so we can have an opportunity to actually apologize publicly. Because millions of people are following everything that's happening. Millions of people. It is irresponsible for a distinguished government official to pull a lie in the open, and you ought to swallow it for 28 years with not one single government correcting it, knowingly that the intelligence community from just about every single nation that was operational from 1990 to 1994 have the full scoop of everything that was happening, including the death toll of not only Rwandese people overall, but the Hutus, the Tutsis, and the Twa, as well as foreigners. So I just don't get it. Why do you want to make us all be stupid and look stupid at the same time? That tells you what you think about all of us. Literally. So at least I know where the Rwandan government stand. What about you, the United States? What about you, France? What about you, the United Kingdom? What about you, Russia? What about you, China? And I submit to you guys, these nations don't care, or it's not in their business. At least it's not in their best interest to call out the numbers. Because the minute you start looking at the numbers, the whole lie falls apart. The whole lie falls apart. How can you have more death than the total available people in a nation? That means the death is accurate, but the mislabeling has taken place. So if already you're tampering with the numbers and you're tampering with the mislabeling, are you now going to literally have the audacity to say, if you say anything about these numbers, you're going to go to jail? I mean, you guys, I don't know what you're smoking, but I'm sober. I'm sober as I don't know what. And I also want to put it to you, brothers and sisters, especially you Africans. If we are going to unify our nations, if we are going to take back what is rightfully ours, it has to be in truth, in love, and in trust, which means anytime you're trying to, to shove some lie within our throat, we are going to just shove it right back out. We're being lied in the open, especially in this sacred time frame. But there is more, even though I'm not going to get into that. Now, this year in particular, the government of Rwanda, from the same source, it's actually giving out guidelines on how the people can remember. It's giving out guidelines how you can remember your loved ones. I'm not crazy. This is literally government policy in Rwanda right now. If it was not a... Actually, let me say it anyway, because it is what it is. We are treated as slaves in Rwanda. Mentally. Someone else does all the thinking. We simply obey. We acknowledge, and that's it. Right now, an average Rwandan citizen in Rwanda cannot say a single word about this that I'm saying right now publicly. Even commenting on it, they would tell you no comment, the majority of them. They are very much encouraged, even forcefully encouraged to shut up, to stay quiet, to not meddle in the business of the government. When the government is people's government, I don't understand that. It's like your employee telling you, you know what, shut up. Don't tell me what to do, I got this. including all that you don't want him or her to do. This is what's happening in reality. Now, this personally, it offends me actually. I'm the one who's offended. Because when you tell a lie, and then when it comes to a much sensitive time such as this, you actually, you reiterate the lie. You still insist in telling a lie to the entire global community that knows you're telling a lie. But they, for whatever reason, just be quiet about it. Me, I'm offended twice. My own nation is lying openly, and the global community, it's also accepting. You know, silent, it's also acceptance of whatever it is you're given. When you keep quiet about a lie, you're accepting that lie. It's not just an ignorance to me. You got a responsibility. Look what's happening right now in Ukraine. Russian attacks, and the whole entire world is all up in it. I wonder why. The death toll in Ukraine right now, I am certain you're counting every single one of them, and you are making sure that someone is going to be held accountable, hopefully. I wonder why we have to be so hypocrite about all these things. How can we remember the genocide of Rwandan people, or the genocide committed in Rwanda, when we are using lies as a basis? The foundation of remembering, if it's a lie, how are you honoring your loved one, guys? That now becomes the question that I have to all of you Rwandese brothers and sisters. If the baseline is a lie of what you are remembering, is that how you honor a loved one? And those of you government officials, even though I don't really have much to say to these government officials, especially not right now, and I'd rather actually not even make a comment towards them, especially that we know that it's deliberately being done. I can only think of prison, that's all. But you the people, Rwandese people, but also international community, how can you swallow a lie in the open? Not even have the audacity to grab a calculator and just check some numbers for yourself before you swallow it. For me, this is quite offensive. It's literally offensive for me. And I'm offended not only by the Rwandan government, but also the people who cannot call it out. My brothers and sisters, you Rwandese people, my brothers and sisters, you African people, but also the rest of the world. This has been 28 years. You live a lie every single day. You know it's a lie unequivocally, but you have yet to call it out. Okay, let's be fair. I've seen a few of you who've called it out. But why is it that the majority of the community, the international community, are still drinking the Kool-Aid, knowing that the Kool-Aid is poisoned? This is no way to honor my loved ones. I'm sorry. It is not a way to honor the loved ones. Let me read a little bit of comment because our time is going out. It's because the international community, the former colonial powers, actually like it that 85 of Rwandans are demoted to subhuman status, as well as having the 14% living in enmity with a country. Interesting way to see it. So this is what I want to just share with my brothers and sisters, actually, because we are going to have plenty of time to really talk about it. But I wanted to just ask and question you, the people. How is it that a government meddles in something as sensitive as remembering your loved one who have departed? Not only they meddle, but they dishonor them publicly. Not only publicly, internationally. They make sure that the whole entire community worldwide is eating a lie on your behalf. I don't know how to even feel about that, guys. I'm being honest with you guys. And this is actually the first time I'm actually even talking about this publicly. Personally, I'm offended by that. Because in my family, not only I have the Hutus, I have the Tutsis, I'm quite sure we probably have the Twas as well. We have a mixture in my family, and I have a huge family. Uncles, aunties have married other races. So, if you show me a pure race in Rwanda, probably with the exception of the kings, the king lineage, some of those king lineages, you barely are going to find a family that is pure Hutu, pure Twa, pure Tutsis. I'm not sure if you can find any actually right now. That's pure. Being frank with you guys. So how are you going to marginalize your half of the other side? I mean, because someone is telling a lie, it doesn't mean that you have to also be okay with the lie. It is just so wrong. And for you, the international community, to be this quiet for this long, I will dare call it treason, if you are my citizens. Imagine if someone was tampering with the Jewish numbers, the Jewish people who were killed during the Holocaust. Imagine if they have tampered with the numbers. Imagine what it would be like for those of you who have your loved ones there, and those of you who are constantly saying never again. What would you be doing? And now, Rwanda has done that not only once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, more than 28 times. Every year, every single year, every single month, every single day. Knowingly. And none of y'all call it out. So I don't know what you call yourselves, but for me, I'm not down with it. I am so not down with that at all. And I am calling out you brothers and sisters from Rwanda. For the first time, let's remember our loved ones. I am truly sorry for our families who have lost who have lost loved ones of ethnicities Hutus. I am so sorry for you, my family members. I'm talking about collectively, who have lost your loved one on the ethnicities Hutus, Twa, and Tutsis. This month, and the next month, and the following month, it is our desire that we get to remember every single individual Rwandan who has lost a loved one. And the saddest thing, the entire country has lost people. Like I'm saying to you, we intermarried. So if a Hutu marries a Tutsi, what becomes of the children? I just want you guys to figure it out and let me know. Because right now you have young people who live a stigmatized life every single day. When it comes to this month, they literally go hide under the bed. They make sure that they put a mask on, they don't say nothing, because you're saying something right now, especially if you're in Rwanda, even those outside of Rwanda. It's almost like a criminal. It's criminal. You saying something becomes a criminal charge. And I'm wondering what could be worse than killing you twice up until 28 times. Denying you the right to remember your loved one, to mourn properly. The Tutsis have yet to mourn themselves because they cannot mourn being dictated how to mourn. Imagine a Tutsi who has lost her family member, his family member, is dictated how to remember. A Hutu who has lost his family member, it's not even being looked upon. You're not allowed to remember. A toi who has lost a loved one, you are not allowed to remember. So you geniuses, international community, who know that it's illegal to discriminate, cannot point out a government that discriminates openly, and you are actually colluding in the discrimination against my fellow Rwandans. Every single nation that has been helping Rwanda for these past 28 years, you are an accomplice. You are an accomplice to discrimination that's taking place in Rwanda right now. You have, the Jewish Museum is telling us that you have about approximately 85%. Let's say maybe, for the lack of better word, plus or minus 5%. You have at least 80% of Hutus who cannot remember them, their loved ones who have died in the war. You have at least 1% who cannot remember their loved ones. And I also want to put it out to you. We had operations that have been killing massively Hutus in Rwanda. You know that, but you say nothing about it. I wonder what's wrong with you all people. If this is how we actually are, it is no wonder the world is going as bad as it is. If you're helping someone, cooking numbers, selling a lie to the public, that tells a lot about you as well. So how can you, in good faith right now, have the audacity to tell me, a kid who also survived my own or theirs during the war, that I must remember according to how the government of Rwanda, according to how any one of these governments supporting the government of Rwanda wants? How can you in good faith expect me to actually comply? Now, if all things are equal, I come to you, you have lost a loved one, and I bring this mambo shambo to you, what would you do? Because oftentimes, things are good until you flip the script. I know that none of you will go for any of this if this were your own families. Now, I don't know whether this is just discrimination against Rwandan people or African altogether, or if it's just a complete disrespect to a human race. I don't know which one it is, but I know it's neither one of those is good, and it's not something that I'm going to swallow, that you're just going to shove in my, to shove in my throat. And so, my brothers and sisters from Rwanda, our condolences to each and every one of you who have lost a loved one, me included as well, myself included. To my brothers and sisters across Africa, these very next 100 days, it is a dark time period for Rwanda, and I encourage each and every one of you to literally go online and research. Literally go online, guys. Go online and just read a little bit about what has happened in Rwanda, not just in 1994, but start from October 1st, 1990, up until today. The most horrific, the most criminal acts against humanity, these criminal activities, I may actually even say, took place during that whole entire time frames. The government of Rwanda today was a rebel group in 1990, fought for 4 years, killing people. Not only until in 1994, when it actually took power, continued to kill people. It still is killing people today. The reports are available not only from the United Nations, also from your respective governments. However, none of these governments calls it out openly and publicly. A lot of these reports have been actually pushed. Oh, I got you. Guys, this is crazy. So every time we do this, did you guys see that? So I don't know how long it's gonna take, but guys, it's important that we actually fight lies. Okay. So any effort that's made to fight against a lie, you have so much effort also that's there to fight against the truth. We are quite an example. You see all those interruptions. But I just want you guys, especially you, the global community, please, for these next 100 days, okay, take some time out of your busy schedule and learn a thing or two about Rwanda and the genocide that took place in Rwanda. Do your own due diligence. Don't just read for face value. Actually, think critically. Read critically. Don't read 1 + 1 is 3 and you don't see anything wrong about that. See if things match up. It's really a duty of you as a global citizen to identify if there is an error and correct it. It will not just be good for you, but also for the entire global community. I cannot in good conscience see a lie for 28 years and go and literally bow to a lie. I would not do that in good conscience. I love you, my peoples, my fellow Rwandan people, my fellow brothers and sisters from Rwanda. I love you, my brothers and sisters from Africa. Let's literally stand up, guys. Let's stand up and fight evil. Do not mix evil with your lives. This season is ours. This time is ours to reclaim our inheritance the right way. It is our time to fight for it. And if be the pleasure of the Almighty, shed blood for it. So all of you guys, I really want to encourage you, do what is right by the people. Do what is right by the people. I know that I'm being reminded that we have to conclude our broadcast today, but I want to encourage all of you guys, please, if you see any Rwandese person, truly wish them condolences. Just pass the condolences to them, especially those families who have yet to remember their loved ones for these past 28 years. Literally, there are Rwandese families who have yet to cry after 28 years when their loved one passed. Why? Because the government of Rwanda would not allow them to do so. Only the Tutsis, the Hutus cannot remember, the Twas cannot remember. And the worst part of it, if you are a mixture as a family, you cannot remember because you just don't know what to do. So I say enough with this hate. Enough with this hate. Enough with this discrimination. Not only it's publicly, but it's internationally supported. Enough with that. And so with that, guys, I will end it there. we're now going to stop speaking up against this. This is unconscionable, and I want to invite all of you to leave a message. Those of you who can, and those of you who also want to say something, I welcome you tomorrow. We will do this again. We'll do this again for the next 100 days. We will have a story. We are going to be bringing you stories here of what's happening in Rwanda until you do something about it as a people, but also internationally until we do something about it. So those of you who don't know how to reach out to us, go to our website, www.afridominion.com. Our email is info@afridominion.com. Over there you will find our phone number, both landlines and cell phones, but also our social media handlers. Please leave us a feedback, but also I really encourage each and every one of you who can to come and work with us and to stand for the truth and nothing but the truth by all cost, because that is the only way we can redeem ourselves. You cannot live a lie and honor your loved one during this very time period. It's impossible. So with that in mind, guys, I'm Freeman Singirankabo. Have yourself a super fantastic day, and our condolences to my brothers and sisters from Rwanda. And I hope that our God Almighty can help us to get past this dark time. Until next time, have yourself a great day.